Garner. Today we're here at Dr. Ron S. White's dental office, and we're here to answer your questions. So let's go inside and see what Dr. White has to say about your questions. Hi, we're here today with our expert, Dr. Ron White. He's here to answer some of your dentist questions. Dr. White, some of the questions that most of our viewers have come up with have to do with whitening. Can you give us some information or some more details about whitening?
Sure. It's probably one of the most popular things or most asked about things we do. Pretty much everyone's a candidate for some type of whitening. There's over-the-counter products that are routinely, they're pretty safe. Everybody can use those. What you want to watch for if you have some restorations, we call them, or crowns or fillings and things that are up front, those things typically don't whiten. So if you're going to whiten your teeth, those restorations or those fillings and things may not. So you may take a pretty good looking smile and differentiate it where it doesn't look good. So there's three types of whitenings. There's over-the-counter. You can get those most drugstores, Walmart, Sam's, everyone has that. Those are usually pretty safe. They're a little weaker than what we can use in the office. And we make, the professional set will have custom trays that fit just your teeth. Try to keep that chemical off of your gums. We can use a little stronger chemical that would bleach your teeth with a little more effect, a little quicker. And then there's also whitening done in the office where we have you for a couple hours usually. You're starting to see some of this in the malls and some of the areas that with a lot of traffic. They call it zoom whitening or laser whitening, things like that, where they're using a product and then a light is used to intensify that and make that work even faster. Typically a little more expensive because there's more work done by the dentist or the dentist staff, and where the over-the-counter would be the least expensive if you do it all yourself.
Interesting. Is there a certain age that you would recommend that people start whitening, or is there an age too young to be whitening?
Very good question. A lot of parents come in, young girls usually, some of the young guys too, are saying, hey, you know, she's really interested in whitening her teeth. Sensitivity is the biggest issue there. Their young teeth are just more sensitive to a chemical being placed on their teeth. So over the counter, maybe, still we try to fend them away until they're about 16 or 18. They don't, those young teeth are picking up a lot of stains. Typically they don't have a lot of bad habits like the adults, and red wine and coffee and things like that. So they're not going to get as big of a result as a smoker or a person that's drank coffee and tea for 20 years. They will get some, but they also may get more sensitivity than an adult.
Great, thank you. Now, Dr. White, I know one of the #1 questions has to do with flossing. Lots of people hate to floss. Is it really that important to floss?
It is, and it's not something you have to do 10 times a day, but we always, with teenagers and our younger patients, or patients who just simply admit, I do not floss. We tell them to do the floss test, floss a couple times, run that by your nose. It smells pretty icky. Most of the teenagers go, gross, yuck. And we go, yeah, let's leave that in your mouth for 6 months or so and see what it smells like. So it is important. There's an area in your mouth where your teeth really come together and your toothbrush just can't get there. And that's where the floss pops through. And that's where area where a lot of what we call incipient lesions or little bitty cavities start. And there's no way to get there other than floss. Some of the ultrasonic toothbrushes and manual and electric toothbrushes help, but they really don't do a mechanical removal of debris, which is what brushing and flossing is doing, and flossing is only going to get it in those areas. So it is important for those people that may be suffering from halitosis or bad breath. That's a big area. They're simply not flossing. The tongue's another big area. If they'll brush their tongue, floss better, a lot of those things will go away.
And do you have a nifty tool in your hand?
We do. Some people say, well, I just can't get my hands back there. I've got big old hands or arthritis or something where I can't hold a piece of floss like Kelly was holding there. There's floss holders, floss threaders. There's all different kind of tools. This is a tool from Reach. It looks like a little slingshot almost, and that helps you get back in some of those hard to reach areas. There's all different kinds of floss too. There's a ribbon floss, satin floss, all different names. Find the one that you like, maybe that tastes good. If your kids are complaining that they don't like it, get them one that's bubblegum flavored or mint flavored or something like that. Something to encourage them. And it never hurts that the parents are doing it as well, so that the kids learn that habit. And start it early. I try to get my kids to do it. They don't do a very good job at 5 and 6, all the way up to 10 years old, but they're building that habit to doing it when they get older.
So viewers, you heard it from Dr. White. If you want to take a test to see if you'd like to floss, just give your teeth a little floss, take a quick whiff. You don't want that in your mouth. Now I know most people have a phobia coming to the dentist. What are some ways you make people more comfortable when they come into your office?
That's a good question. A lot of patients, for whatever reason, usually it's a bad experience. We try to talk about that. Not that we're psychiatrists or psychologists, but just having them talk about that. Sometimes they'll realize that it's silly, or it was something very serious, that they were in pain and the doctor didn't understand that, or something, that didn't feel like they were being or communicating that. So that's important to talk about it. But those are also some things we do, like laughing gas or nitrous oxide. That's something that you can use during your dental visit, and it's gone. You can go back to work or back home and be a good mom or a good dad and take care of the kids and things. Something a little stronger is sedation. Pre-appointment sedation would be like taking some Valium or something like that. That relaxes you a little bit. That gets you into where you're not a good babysitter of the kids or the dogs or even the house. Someone needs to watch out for you. You can't drive, things like that. And it goes up to scale. You can go all the way to where oral surgeons or some specialists may IV sedate you, where you're out pretty much. You don't know you're there. And you'll hear some on the news and through stories where the little kids even get general anesthetic, where they're put completely to sleep in an OR, and work's done that way. So there's ways. The biggest thing that I feel is that you don't have that bad experience to begin with. So bring your kids with you to the dentist. We have them come in 2 years old, maybe even younger, and just have a good time. Maybe it's mom's visit that they're peeking in on and not really having their turn. By the end of the appointment with mom or dad, most of them want to have a check and we can take a look. Maybe not even charge them, just get them used to being here. That's the biggest thing. Make them comfortable, talk about whatever they want to talk about, and get them over the fear of the unknown, especially with the kiddos. That helps.
Okay, thank you. Well, I want to thank Dr. White for answering your dental questions. And as his motto has, nope, just a minute.
Just roll.
I am. I want to thank Dr. White for answering your dental questions. And as his motto says, spit happens. Why do dentists always ask questions with their fingers in our mouths? Thanks for joining us on Everyday Q&As with Kelly Garner. Join us next time where we answer your everyday questions.